Well, our next map is actually going to be, the looks of things, Calm Before the Storm. So we're going to see an awesome macro game here, I think. Probably see Command Center first against Nexus first. These guys really like to play macro-oriented styles. We saw Clide do a 2-Rex last game, but, you know, 2-Rex isn't an all-in or anything like that, but Parting was just ready for everything Clide threw at him, defending that drop beautifully, and then just not hesitating to counterattack. So it looks like our players need a little bit more time, but I'm actually really excited to see these two play on this map. If you guys haven't watched Parting's round 1 game, definitely go back and watch that. See some awesome multitasking. I actually got to watch the replay personally myself here in this studio just before the matches, and I actually quite enjoyed that. But enough about that. The countdown has started. Can Clide tie it up? Will Parting 2-0 him here? This is the GSL Code. Alright, up here at the top right, a member of the team, Startail. He is Parting. Wonder if he has a part in his hair. I wonder about these things. Over here at the top left, former member of the team, TSL. Since yesterday, just joined Slayers. He's now Slayers Clide. So let's talk a little bit about this map. Calm Before the Storm, take this base with without going through a secondary ramp. Which does mean sometimes we see Warp Prism play here. Imagine a Sentry dropped in here with a Warp Prism. You can force field the ramp. Clyde's units are inside here. You kill SCVs, Warp, and Zealots. By the time you run out of force field energy, you just pick up what units you have left and go. It can be quite devastating. So expect to see something like that at some point on this map. Especially with how good Parting's multitasking is, I wouldn't be surprised. Parting's a guy who's kind of gone under the radar. I remember the first time I came to Korea, one of my friends lost to Parting in the Code A qualifiers, and I don't remember who it was that lost to Parting, but I remember after that I was like, alright, well I'm going to see how good this guy is, and I watched Parting's run through the rest of the qualifiers, and he didn't qualify that season. I watched his play and I was like, wow, that's actually really good. Parting's quite good. And ever since then I've kind of been like, I think Parting's got potential. Now he's in Code A, he's doing really well, he's taken out Clide in game 1 here. Clide, a Code S guy. He's consistently been in Code S so long, this is his first time in Code A. So think about that. Shows a lot of skill and potential. Well, neither player going for a fast expansion. Parting going to go ahead and get his Cybernetic score. And Clide even taking a gas here. So this is actually abnormal for Calm Before the Storm. I'm a little bit shocked. I'm not feeling very calm about this. SD comes out here to block with the depot, so the probe cannot see anything when he does arrive. And there's a factory for Clide. So, a little bit of a different build. Parting will probably go for a 1-gate expand to the backdoor expansion. He hasn't taken a second geyser yet. And that's going to allow him to defend against Clide's timing attack pretty well, if Clide decides to go for that Marine Tank Banshee attack, that is. But, you know, I think, considering the fact that the Nexus is going to be taken behind, Clide's not going to be able to do a whole lot except perhaps set up a contain with this build. So I'm really curious to see what's going to happen. Clide with a second gas here. Looks like it is going to be Cloak Banshees. I'm really excited to see how this build's going to play out, because of course Clyde's not just deciding to do this on a whim. He's planned this build. Probe going to come up here, wants to see, is there a tech lab? No. Not enough players to do the 2 zaps with the probe. Might as well do that instead of just trying to squeeze the probe through. He's not going to get through. Damage that depot a little bit. Those people were like, why is the wolf talking about that? It doesn't matter. Well, you know, it's nice to see. Nexus goes down. It is a very normal 1-gate Nexus for Parting. And there is the tech lab. You're going to see a switch here. And Cloak will be started immediately for Clide. I'm really kind of curious about this build. It's a build you do not often see on this map. And there's the Cloak, following it up with a Banshee very soon. 2 more gateways being added for Parting. No scouting information yet for Parting, really, so it's a little bit scary for him right now. Probably going to add a Robo very soon. And since he scouted his opponent last, he actually doesn't know anything. Like, he's really in the dark right now. He doesn't know, did he go command center first? Did he get his barracks out on a normal timing? Is he hiding other barracks? Is he going for a 1 barracks expand? He has no idea. He's actually totally in the dark. And that's a scary place to be right now. You know, if he had gone for command center first, the barracks would have been late, yeah. But it could have been Clide just hiding a Marine and making him think that it's late. He's not really sure at this point. This Stalker is going to enlighten him a little bit. Although he's going to see a tech lab on a barracks, which looks a little bit weird. He's going to be like, well, I'm not really sure about this still. And the Nexus finishing up here. Whoa. That's not the Nexus I wanted to click on. So he's actually taking a very fast third here. Super risky. And he has actually misread what Clide is doing. And, I mean, of course, misread is one way to put it. Another way is he just was not able to read what Clide was doing. And Clide, sending a Banshee around here, does not see the Nexus. He's not going to expect there to be a Nexus there. Even if he did see it, it would have been good to harass there. SCV trying to do something in the middle of the map, but look at this Banshee with Cloak, not even having to cloak yet. And the Robo is not even done. It's 2/3 of the way done. Really nice build order here by Clide. Parting trying to decide what to do. Does he run his probes or does he just take the hit? Does decide to run his probes. Not going to take too much of an economic hit from this. A Raven is on the way, as well as combat shields. No siege tank follow-up though. As you can see, combat shields are on the way. He's going to start adding some more barracks. Command Center is finishing up right now as well. And look at this Banshee just getting so many kills. 12 kills in total. Guardian shields continue to go up to try to help protect these units. It's a lot of force field energy lost. Boom. Probes going down. 15 kills on that Banshee. Damage that Nexus. Conserver. Almost out. The second Banshee. 4 kills. 5 kills. Parting with not a lot left here. 17 workers to 28. Got 3 gateways. And the key here, though, is he's got the third Nexus. So he can make 3 probes at a time. And does the Banshee see this? Yes, the Banshee does see this, so he knows, okay, you have 3 Nexus, so he makes his own command center, third command center. So it's going to shortly become 3 base versus 3 base, but there is a timing where Parting has 3 Nexi, all with Chrono Boost energy. He's going to be able to use quite well. And I have to say, though, Clide is still ahead. He's got a very strong composition. He's got combat shields out. He's adding more barracks. He's powering up quite nicely. He has a Raven here as well. He's actually going to do a drop. Probably bring the Raven. Yep, he's going to bring that Raven. He's going to have about enough energy for a point defense drone. And Parting just does not have very many units at all, so it's going to be extremely difficult for him to deal with this. Oh man, if he brings the Banshees too, he could actually snipe the Observer and kill units with Cloak. I love this by Clide. He's got tons of options. He can, with this few units, he can actually drop auto turrets, and that would actually probably be more effective than point defense drone. I think we may see Parting lose a Nexus here. We'll find out. Cloak goes down. Point defense drone as well here. The Banshees taking a lot of hits from sentries. This allows the Marines to do their damage. And the Banshees is doing a ton of DPS here. And the Banshees do escape, or at least one of them does. Point defense drone remains alive, but with Zealots here, that attack much less effective than I thought it would be. I think it was because Clide hesitated with his Marines. He kept them in the dropship for quite some time. Well, that was a really cool idea by Clide. It did not work out as well as he or I thought it would. Right now, 5 barracks for Clide, adding 3 reactors here, going up to 3 reactors. You can see a total of 3 tech labs here. Stim finishing up. He's got that combat shields and concussive shell upgrade already done. Banshee and Raven going to come home a little bit dejected after that failed attack. Right now the worker count has gone up for Parting. He's now 48 to 44. So you guys can see here 2 more gateways being added for Parting as well. +1 finishing up. No Twilight Council just yet. Does have that forge done. Probably going to add a second forge here as well and get a Twilight Council. Robotic support bay on the way. He's got 3 bases so he can support all of this. And Clide just now landing his command center at front of his base. He's going to transfer some SUVs. Clide with 1-1 on the way. He's going to have better upgrades for a short period of time. It's like that drop. Shut down again. A little attack here by Parting, sending some Zealots out on the map. And I know about this because Clide has a lot of units. He's got Medivacs out as well. Even has that Banshee still alive. And this is going to get a little bit weird. Dropship trying to avoid the army of parting, but he sees it, and that's key. He may even make a bunker here, but it's not even necessary. That army is way too small. I do not agree with parting attacking here. He's going to get crushed. Even with force fields, his opponent's going to have better upgrades very soon. For the time being, though, parting does have +1, and Clide does not. Auto turrets being dropped, and a Banshee cloaks. At the very least, he forced a lot of energy wasted here, but does decide to turn around. The medevac sees this army moving out, or moving home, I should say. There's the second forge for parting. Twilight Council going up as well. First Colossus about to come out. As you can see, range on the way as well. Right now, the worker count is 55 to 67. Parting way in the lead, 15 harvesters ahead or so. And, you know, right now, Clide is in an okay spot. He's got a decent army composition. He's got his starport up and running. He can make Vikings or medevacs. He's adding, now going up to 8 barracks. So he's going to have a decent amount of production right now. And even though parting had his base up for longer, he hasn't really pulled significantly ahead. In fact, even if you look at the supply, you can see he's behind the supply right now. So Clyde's still in a pretty good position. That drop that he did that didn't kill the Nexus or kill a ton of units, killed some probes, and kept the army count low for parting. The army count for parting has always been quite low. That's why when I saw him moving on the map, I was like, whoa, wait a second, parting, you actually can't make this work. So it's a scary thing to deal with a Terran army, even if its economy is behind. If the army is stronger than yours, you can never move out, because there's no such thing as trading evenly with a Terran army in those cases. You either win the fight or you lose the game most of the time, so it's too scary to do a huge move out. Now, Clide is actually going to drop here, but there's so many stalkers. Oh man, that was a close call. Medevac's taking some hits there. One medevac almost being taken out. Parting doing a great job following this army with the observer. Clide sees it, decides not to scan. More depots going up here for Clide as he just gets his production ramping up. He's having to make multiple depots at once to keep up with that. 2-2 on the way for Clide. He's actually ahead in his upgrades just so slightly. And with, you know, Chrono Boost, parting is going to be able to even that out quite well, but you never want to be even in upgrades with a Terran. You want to be ahead in upgrades, so Clide pretty good in that regard. 4 more gateways going up, as well as Storm Charge and another Colossus, so parting making everything here, but Clide just has a stronger army, and I always worry when I see parting moving out like this. If he gets caught in the middle of the map, he's going to regret it. Ring wants that probe so badly. Another large group of units moving out for Clide. Right now his Viking count is 6. It's actually pretty much exactly what he needs here. These Templar don't have enough energy for Storm. Here comes an attack. Point defense run goes down. The Stalker's not really able to fight very well. And a lot of indecision here by parting. His army may be too small. He's going to try to push this back. A little bit of hesitation. And Clide looking really good here. Not microing his Vikings as well as it could be. Now he is targeting down that last Colossus. Now he just has too much bio. And even though the storms are going down, I don't know if parting can hold this. Too many units, I think. 2-2 done for Clide before it was done for parting as well. That really came into play here. Pulling back to that point defense run. Nice kiting here. And these Zealots getting a little bit ahead of themselves. Losing the majority of those, but Vikings being taken out. That's a small victory for parting. But look at this, just more units being rallied, streamed across the map. Not looking good for parting at this point. A few Vikings do survive, and look at this, he's just got so much more at home if he chooses to use it. 30 supply up right now, 3-3 on the way, +3 on the way for parting as well, but a little bit behind. +1 ship weapons about to finish too. It's going to be really useful for those Vikings. Clyde needs to get all of his forces together and consolidated though before he goes for another attack, because the threat is very real. These are heavily upgraded Protoss units. He doesn't want to get himself caught in a situation where the Protoss army is bigger than his just because he didn't have all his units with him. Now Clyde is starting another command center over here at the 9 o'clock. Something that parting cannot afford to do. He wants to make a Nexus here. He wants to destroy these rocks, but it's not going to be easy. It's not something Clyde's really going to allow him to do. Luckily, though, as he comes over here to destroy these rocks, he spots these drops. Drops do get chased away, and parting going to go for these rocks, ignoring the drops for now, as they have blown out of range. Clyde sending units around the map to make sure no hidden Nexi have been taken. And look at that, scanning just to make sure. I don't like this idea of flying dropships closer though. It is going to keep Harding a little bit occupied right now. This could allow Clide to attack here where the center is weak. Clide's going to continue to check here. The second this army moves out, he's going to drop and force a cancel on the Nexus with these dropships. Tons of zealots being warped in for parting though. He's actually evening the supply very quickly. 4 ghosts about to pop, but they're not out yet. There's no ghost in this army whatsoever. Something he's going to want to have. And here comes the drop, forcing the army back. The Nexus has to be canceled. And now Clide in a beautiful position on top of this ramp. A storm goes down though. Nice positioning on those Templar by parting. Something he's quite known for. I don't know though, guys. Clide has a 200 army with a ton of Vikings. A lot of these units very low on hit points. Though a ton of units canceled with that pylon's demise. And these Colossi falling like flies here. Clide's army doing the best it can to dodge some storms. Looks like parting may have too much for this main army, but meanwhile these Vikings just kind of hanging out over here, not actually able to participate in this fight. And Clide, I think, may have had too many Vikings. He's trying to make that switch over back to ground units, trying to get ghosts out and whatnot, but he's going to lose this entire army here. And parting, looking like he's in a solid shape now. He's actually taking a supply lead here, going to pick off some of these Vikings as well. He's just continuing to get those upgrades out. He's actually got 3-3 around the exact same time that Clide will. And Clide's entire army was just chased across the map and killed by charged zealots. That was the last remaining Marine there. And Clide, though, does have this planetary up. He's making another command over here. Going to make that into an orbital. Smart choice. And he did force the cancel on this Nexus. So Parting's got a timing where he could be aggressive. And he might actually try to use that. Even so, if Clide just gets a little bit more time, that macro is really going to kick in. Look at how many barracks he has here in his main base. Parting deciding not to go for an attack at this point, I think may be a mistake. 2 Naxi though on the way. This one here and this one down here at the bottom right. He's actually going to try to find some other bases. Does not know about either of these bases yet, but he knows it's probably there. Making a pylon here. He's got control of the watchtower. You can see any movements that Clide tries to make right now. It's going to be tough to engage this planetary. Oh, he's going to do it though, and these ghosts have a lot of EMPs. Oh, but not if they get hit by Stalkers. Stalkers trying to chase these ghosts down may have been a bit of a mistake, as the planetary doing a ton of damage. Does catch a lot of these zealots as well. Clide narrowing the supply gap again, and these Templar going to get some good storms, but they're all going to get taken out, and not too many units dying there. A few Marines. Does take out those Templar though. Fairly decent trade for parting, but did not really do that much damage to this planetary. Of course, Clide not sending his SCVs back, so might as well be dead. +1 shield's about to finish. EMP drops down. The last Colossus will fall. I'd like to see Clide land these Vikings. They have +2. You know, I mean, they're dead weight at this point if he's not going to use them. He needs to drop those Vikings down and add the DPS to the fight, because otherwise he may just die right here. A lot of Templar are coming in to follow this up as well. And it's not looking good for Clide. This planetary is all that's standing between him and defeat. Templar coming in here as well, and I think Clide might be dead here. Templar storming, walking into those storms. That's how brave those Templar are. Cleaning things up, and Clide may be out here. It's, you know, it's hard to believe as a longtime watcher of Clide that we may see him knocked out in Code A here. Parting getting ready, rearing his head for his final attack. Clide trying to prepare. He's got +3 ship weapons on the way, but that's not useful. He doesn't have any Vikings. Archon's doing serious damage to those SCVs. The Colossi killing what's left, and it looks like there are just too many zealots here. Clide may hold this. I don't think so, though. Storm's going down. Clide being forced to split his units, but during that split, he's just taking so much fire. And parting on top of everything, warping in more units here. That's going to be it for Clide. And the Stalkers being cleaned up here. Almost, but more reinforcements arriving. It will not matter. Heavily upgraded Zealots just tearing through everything. SCVs being killed by Archons. Yeah, this base still remains, but there's only a few SCVs here. Parting can just make a pylon there and take that out. Storm's going down, and Clide, he may be out here. His production facilities have been camped. Probably not been a very good day for Clide, honestly. Mule's being dropped on the Colossus. Clearly Clide a little bit unhappy with this defeat here. Trying to pull his units back, drop them on the low ground where the Zealots cannot attack them. You know, good micro from Clide to the end. Trying to make a last stand, and I'm sure Clide fans respect that. But that's going to be it. Zealots running in here. No amount of micro is going to stop the torrent of units coming down for parting. And look at this, making a pylon here just as I said. Even in the middle of the mineral line. More Zealots running in here. More Colossi arrive at the scene. I mean, beautiful micro from Clide, but he's not a GSL champion yet. GG! Clide taken out 2-0 by parting. Very surprising results to see him go out just like that. Parting, holding off Clide's 2 racks last game, going for a swift counterattack after holding off a drop. And then in this game, just outplaying Clide at every turn, taking a risky Nexus. Clide tried to go for Cloak Banshees, didn't do enough damage, didn't follow up very well. You know, he did that cute little Raven attack. He traded okay with that, kept the army size small, but parting never overcommitted to any of his attacks. And that was just it. He just knew when the game was over, knew when to end it, and Clide is now out. So, Clide losing here. A little bit disappointing for Clide fans, but look out for parting. I think this guy's got a lot of talent, and he's only going to get better from here. So don't go anywhere, guys. We've got one more set of matches. It's going to be Tassadar versus Cezanne. The maps will be Antigua Shipyard, Belshire Beach, and Crossfire. So don't go anywhere. Go watch Calidor and Moltrap casting the other games during this break. Also, go and follow me on Twitter at ProxyWolf. Please do that, and follow GOMTV at GOMTV. See you guys in just a bit.